The Bodhisattva of Compassion, Guanyin. Introduction. Throughout human history, there have been figures that represent the highest ideals of humanity: compassion, wisdom, selflessness, and kindness. In the Mahayana Buddhist tradition, one of the most revered and beloved figures is Avalokiteshvara, also known in Chinese culture as Guanyin, the Bodhisattva of Compassion. The name Avalokiteshvara roughly translates to the Lord who looks down upon the world, or the one who hears the cries of the world. This bodhisattva embodies the boundless compassion that lies at the heart of the Buddhist path. Avalokiteshvara represents the ideal of the bodhisattva, someone who seeks enlightenment not solely for personal liberation, but for the sake of all sentient beings. Unlike the fully enlightened Buddhas who have transcended the world of suffering, bodhisattvas vow to remain within the realm of samsara, the endless cycle of birth, death, and rebirth, to assist others on their path to liberation. Among bodhisattvas, Avalokiteshvara is especially venerated as the protector of all beings who suffer. Across Asia, this figure has taken on diverse forms. In Tibet, Avalokiteshvara is known as Chenrezig, regarded as the patron deity of Tibet and closely linked with the Dalai Lama. In China, Avalokiteshvara evolved into Guanyin, often portrayed as a serene, motherly figure embodying mercy and kindness. In Japan, she is known as Kannon, and in Korea as Gwanum. Despite cultural differences, the core essence of Avalokiteshvara remains constant: to hear the cries of those in need and respond with infinite compassion. This essay explores Avalokiteshvara's origins, transformation, symbolism, and enduring relevance in the modern world. We will look at stories, practices, and teachings that illuminate the compassionate spirit of this great bodhisattva. Origins and evolution. Avalokiteshvara in India. The story of Avalokiteshvara begins in ancient India, where Mahayana Buddhism first emerged around the 1st century CE. Early Mahayana texts such as the Lotus Sutra and the Karunakundarika Sutra describe Avalokiteshvara as the compassionate savior who responds to the cries of beings trapped in suffering. These sutras emphasize that Avalokiteshvara can take any form necessary to rescue beings: male, female, human, god, or even animal. This ability symbolizes the bodhisattva's deep commitment to the well-being of all. Early depictions in Indian art show Avalokiteshvara as a youthful, princely figure adorned with rich ornaments and a crown, often with Amitabha Buddha depicted in a small image in his headdress. This signifies his connection with Amitabha, the Buddha of infinite light who presides over the Pure Land. Spread and transformation in China. As Buddhism spread along trade routes such as the Silk Road, the worship of Avalokiteshvara reached China around the 3rd to 5th century CE. Initially represented as male, Avalokiteshvara gradually transformed in China into Guanyin, a figure associated with maternal compassion, mercy, and the protection of the vulnerable. By the Tang dynasty, Guanyin had become one of the most beloved deities in Chinese culture, venerated not only in Buddhist temples but also in Taoist shrines and among common folk. One of the most famous legends of Guanyin's transformation is that of Princess Miao Shan, a royal daughter who defied her father's will, refused marriage, and chose to pursue a life of spiritual practice. After enduring persecution and death, she was reborn as Guanyin, embodying the ultimate compassion that forgives and heals. Avalokiteshvara in Tibet. In Tibet, Avalokiteshvara is known as Chenrezig and is regarded as the guardian of the Tibetan people. Tibetan tradition holds that the Dalai Lamas are incarnations of Chenrezig, thus connecting the spiritual leadership of Tibet with the Bodhisattva's mission of compassion. The mantra Om Mani Padme Hum, associated with Avalokiteshvara, is perhaps the most widely recited mantra in the Tibetan world, chanted to cultivate compassion in the heart of the practitioner. Avalokiteshvara in other cultures. In Japan, Avalokiteshvara became Kannon, or Kanzeon, where she remains a beloved deity, with countless temples dedicated to her. In Korea, she is known as Gwanum, and holds a similar position of reverence.
Vietnam, Guanyin is also widely worshipped, often associated with miraculous acts of kindness and protection. Symbolism and iconography. Avalokiteshvara's various forms and attributes symbolize the depth and breadth of his compassion. Thousand-armed Avalokiteshvara. One of the most iconic images is the thousand-armed, thousand-eyed Avalokiteshvara, also known as Sahasra Bhuja Avalokiteshvara. In this form, Avalokiteshvara has multiple heads and countless arms, each arm bearing an eye in the palm. The many eyes symbolize his ability to see the suffering of all beings, while the many hands represent his ability to act to relieve that suffering. This form is particularly popular in Chinese, Tibetan, and Japanese art. Four-armed Avalokiteshvara. In Tibetan Buddhism, the four-armed Chenrezig is the most common form. He holds a lotus flower, symbolizing purity, a crystal rosary, symbolizing unceasing compassion, and his hands are joined in prayer at his heart, representing the unity of compassion and wisdom. Guanyin as a female figure. In China, Guanyin is often depicted as a graceful woman in flowing white robes, standing on a lotus, holding a vase of pure water, or a willow branch, used for sprinkling blessings and healing. These symbols emphasize her role as a bringer of peace, purity, and healing. Mantras and symbols. The mantra Om Mani Padme Hum is universally associated with Avalokiteshvara. It is said that all the teachings of the Buddha are contained within this mantra. Reciting it helps purify the mind, cultivate compassion, and generate merit for the benefit of all beings. Guanyin in Chinese culture. Guanyin holds a special place in Chinese religious life, transcending boundaries of formal Buddhism. She is seen as the protector of women, children, sailors, farmers, and anyone who suffers. Legends and miracles. One of the most popular stories is of Guanyin saving fishermen during a storm. The desperate fishermen pray to Guanyin, who appears on the waves and guides them safely to shore. In gratitude, they build a temple in her honor. Another famous legend tells of Guanyin responding to the prayers of childless couples, granting them children and protecting them during childbirth. Guanyin in art and literature. Guanyin is depicted in countless statues, paintings, and carvings throughout China. From the giant stone statues at Mount Puto to the small household icons, Guanyin's image is a constant reminder of compassion. Poets of the Tang and Song dynasties praised her mercy, and her name appears in folktales, dramas, and modern novels. Avalokiteshvara in Tibetan Buddhism. In Tibetan Buddhism, Avalokiteshvara is deeply woven into spiritual life. The Dalai Lama as Chenrezig. The Dalai Lamas are considered manifestations of Chenrezig, continuing the Bodhisattva's mission of compassion through their leadership. This belief emphasizes the close bond between spiritual guidance and the Bodhisattva ideal. Practices and rituals. Tibetan Buddhists recite Om Mani Padme Hum during meditation, while spinning prayer wheels or walking circumambulations around stupas. The mantra is inscribed on stones, banners, and jewelry, serving as a constant call to compassion. Tibetan Thangka paintings often depict Avalokiteshvara surrounded by Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, and deities, inspiring practitioners to awaken their own compassion. Teachings of compassion. Avalokiteshvara represents the perfection of compassion in Mahayana Buddhism. His example teaches that compassion is not mere sentiment, but a profound commitment to relieve suffering. Practical compassion. Followers of Avalokiteshvara strive to practice compassion in everyday life. Helping the poor and sick, forgiving those who wrong us, supporting peace and harmony in society. Examples. In many Buddhist communities, social welfare programs, such as building hospitals, schools, and orphanages, are seen as expressions of Avalokiteshvara's compassion. In one modern story, a Buddhist nun in Taiwan, inspired by Guanyin, established a charity that provides free medical care to thousands of patients. In Tibet, monks and laypeople engage in environmental preservation, motivated by the Bodhisattva's love for all